Hi.
Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
Hello.
Today is Saturday, November 5th, and it is episode 180. My name is Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7, and I would like to welcome back those who haven't been beer. Those who haven't been here before, and if you're new, we're glad you've joined the party.
Have you been beer?
I don't know. I'm drinking root beer.
My name is Selma Knits, and we've got groups and presents in different places. We've got a Ravelry group, so come and join the Two Tangled Skeins. We've got a Facebook group. It's gonna be goofy.
Have you been beer and face what?
I don't even know. I don't have a clue. There's a blog as well. We're on YouTube, which is where you may be watching this video, as well as the Two Tangled Skeins on Twitter, and we're on Instagram as Crafty Knitter 7 and Selma Knits. Lynn's not here today. She's in Vermont, visiting with Rob, and I think they're visiting Mandy. Mm-hmm. And so we're on our own.
We are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I should apologize to any hairdressers that are watching. I'm really in desperate need of highlights. It's just my moment of vanity.
Okay, you can't tell.
Yeah. Anyway, gotta make a hair appointment one of these days.
See, I don't have to do that. I have a daughter. She does my hair.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Well, you do cover all over.
Well,
color all over.
I cover the
roots.
I cover...
Can we talk? Not sure.
I cover the roots.
Yeah.
And then just blend it in a bit. And
that's but you're doing, like I'm doing highlights.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it requires a little bit more technique.
You don't have rebel gray hair like I do. No. Yes, that's what my hairdresser called it.
Rebel gray hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, any hairdressers who are watching? I'm sorry. It's kind of like meeting a dentist and saying, I'm sorry, I don't floss very often or something like that.
Didn't brush today. Yes,
so anyway,
I just ate a muffin.
To the hairdressers out there, like, I'm sorry I haven't highlighted my hair in a while.
So this is knitting, right?
Oh
yeah,
we're a knitting podcast, just so you know, and we'll be talking a little bit about FOs, a little bit about works in progress, some future prizes for our sock club, as well as some acquisitions. I think that's what we've got on the show. Did you have any sewing to talk about today?
No.
Okay. Neither do I.
I did some sewing, well, not sewing, but bag-related things this week, but I didn't actually put the bags together. Mm. They're half done, and I had to put all the interfacing on.
Right.
So that's done. And, make drawstrings. I love my drawstring maker.
It's pretty cool.
And I think we're a little washed out today, but...
Can't quite tell.
No.
We've had some technical issues just getting this set up, so we're actually recording on a laptop instead of a regular computer, and so we might look washed out because it's a laptop, and we might look fine.
Yeah, because sometimes we see it, and then when it's actually airing, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
anyway, but you know what? I have to say that we used to have a lot of problems showing color, but since you've painted the room, I don't think it's much of an issue.
Isn't it amazing?
I don't know if you guys notice anything different, but it's awesome. It's a more neutral color.
Yeah, because we would see the color, it would look not really great. Sometimes it would look good when you're watching it later, and sometimes not. But
yeah,
that's why I went neutral, and the gray suggestion was either you or Lynn.
Well, I'll always suggest gray.
Yeah.
Because I love gray.
And I mean, it's a craft room. It's soothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And neutral. So anyway.
Foes.
So, foes.
You go.
Me?
Mm-hmm. What are you wearing?
Well, and I just lost a stitch. You asked a dramatic question there. I am wearing a cardigan that I've never worn on the show before because it's actually more of an outside thing. It's a kind of a, it's sort of like a warm and cozy jacket.
Mm-hmm. Full jacket.
Yeah. That I made,
That's a couple years old.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. I actually wore it to Rhinebeck last year.
And you were wanting to make that thing like forever.
I wanted to make it for a long time. It's the Williamette by Amy Christophers. And I wonder, can I stand up and show?
Yep.
It's like, oh my gosh, everything's backwards. Mm-hmm. It's got pockets. And, it's just a warm and cozy, sort of more of an outdoor cardigan.
And it's tweedy.
And my socks just keep on wanting to fall. I made it out of Barocco Blackstone tweed in their Narragansett colorway, which is kind of an indigo blue.
Pilling a bit. You should use your gleaner.
It's pilling?
A little bit.
Where?
On the back of your arms here, there's a little bit.
Well, the thing is that it's got tweed bits in it. So
something sticking.
Yeah. So it was a funny
gorgeous
yarn to work with. People have complained about Brooklyn tweed. Is it Shelter that's the worsted weight one, that it rips and falls apart very quickly? This was kind of a similar, probably not quite as fragile, but a similar sort of experience knitting with this yarn, where I was a little bit nervous as I was knitting it because it could come apart quite easily.
So is it because of the way tweed is made?
Well, I think it was interesting because I was having a conversation with Devin from Tiny Paper Foxes at Rhinebeck about Brooklyn tweed, and he said that they have started changing the formula. I think they're considering changing the formula and using a different technique in the spinning and twist of the yarn or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. To make it a little bit stronger because people have complained about it. I would say that this didn't fall apart that easily, but I was a little bit nervous. And I think it's probably the same type of thing, right? It's sort of loosely put together. It's a very light but warm cardigan. And I think the Barocco Blackstone has a little bit of mohair in it, and
maybe that's the
warm
fuzz. I'm like, it's a little fuzz.
There's a fuzz. And the tweed neps in it and stuff. But
it's gorgeous.
It's kept up really well. I wear it, kind of in the fall and the spring as a light outdoor jacket. And it's been great. Yeah, and I'd gotten some just very simple sort of black buttons from a local yarn store. And that was that. So this is what I wore to Rhinebeck last year. And then was a little on the cold side because last year it was cold. Whereas this year I probably would have been taking it off.
So think about knits. You can layer.
Exactly.
Well, you can layer with anything. But
yeah, and the vest that I wore last week, the one that I almost wore again today, and then I thought that would be a little cheeky, wouldn't it? Because I said I could wear it every week.
It's happened where I've worn the same t-shirt. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I guess I like that t-shirt.
But I wore that vest with this sweater at Rhinebeck last year, and I was still a little on the chilly side.
Just really windy.
It was windy, yeah. So anyway, so this is one FO. The other FO you've seen already if you happen to follow us on Instagram, or follow me, I guess. I finished the Void Sha by Melanie Berg.
Are you entering it in the Berg-along?
I have. I actually entered it into the Berg-along.
Nice.
So here it is.
I'll hold it
goes
because it
on
spans
forever
like, oh my
and
Lord.
ever and ever.
It almost spans the width of the room.
It's extremely. You're right. It really almost does.
Right to the closet.
Yeah. So
Right.
I don't know how many feet that is.
That's probably a good 8 feet.
Yeah. So it is a big thingamajiggy. I have to say, I probably wouldn't follow Stephen West's advice here and just fling it in all kinds of directions, because I feel like it's kind of a structured thing and you'd want to wear it sort of very kind of methodically, which would probably be more Melanie Berg-like. So I made it out of Plymouth Galway heather, some stash that I had.
Deep stash.
Like 6 years. I think it was 2010. And of the Galway heather in this color that was some sort of a light blue. What was it? The number, I don't remember. Anyway, who knows if you could even get it anymore. But I realized that I was not going to have enough to do the border. So I went out and found this yarn at a local shop. It is an Estelle worsted wool. I think it's actually a wool acrylic blend, which I have to be honest, I wouldn't normally use, but I actually really liked it. It's got a very nice feel to it. It's got a nice softness to it, And it was just the right color for this shawl.
Yeah, she had to be very strategic in how she did it because you didn't want it to look like, oh, I ran out of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. So I wanted it to look nice. Obviously. And this gray just kind of worked quite nicely with this.
There was many a lunchtime conversation about this.
There were. Do I start now? Do I start later? Do I try and go with the blue as far as I can and then just finish off with the gray? What do I do? So
and then she would answer herself and it would all be good. Yeah. Did you post a picture of your blocking that on Instagram?
No.
You need to.
Oh, you think so?
I love that.
Really?
I'm going to use that method.
Okay, let me tell you guys about my method. Maybe I could even show you.
Can you imagine blocking an 8-foot shawl?
Yeah, and I couldn't find my wires. Somebody keeps moving my wires around. I don't know who.
I'm sorry. Somebody keeps crossing my wires.
I was like, darn it. And I had already had this idea of blocking shawls this way. Basically, although it has one limitation. But I thought, I think I had seen somebody who had pegged their shawl onto a clothesline. And then on the bits that came down on the shawl, put clothespins there to add a bit of weight, and that was how they blocked it. So they essentially used the weight of the pegs and the weight of the water in the shawl and the shawl itself. And I thought, that's a great idea, because sometimes blocking can be really labor intensive and quite irritating. And with this, I changed the border and I made a bit of just a slight picot edge every 10 stitches so that it lined up with the triangle. And I thought, I am not going to put a pin through every single one of those. I don't have enough pins, actually. And so I thought, I'm going to try this. Oh dear, did I keep the picture?
Well, you might have texted it to me.
Jeez. I erased the picture.
No, I think I have it in my texts from you.
What
Selma.
was I thinking?
There it is.
Oh. So I took my IKEA drying rack, because that's what we actually use to dry our clothes on. And Sue had got those fantastic clips for sewing.
Mm-hmm.
So I used those clips and I just put it all around. Can you see that?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I put it all around. It actually wrapped the thing because, as we just said, it's about 8 feet long, and clipped it. Oops, there went your phone.
It's okay.
And then I put cloths underneath because it was dripping, right? So I wet it, and it really worked actually quite well. The only issue is that when you go around the corner,
the square,
you have to make sure that the fabric, the edge of your shawl doesn't go over it, or you're going to end up with a dimple. Yeah. Which is what I didn't pay very good attention to, and I ended up with a little bit of a dimple, which I'm now not finding.
You might not see it because you've been wearing. Oh, right there.
It's right there. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a dimple right here, but in wearing it, it's gonna go away. But it was a wonderful, wonderful pattern. The pattern gives the option at the top of doing a yarn over, like knitting the edge stitch and then doing a yarn over, and I strongly recommend, because otherwise you would not be able to get it to sit nice and wide. So this is going to be part of my winter woolly fortress.
You've made a lot of long or wide shawls recently.
I have.
Yeah, because the one you were wearing today was... What was that one
today
called?
I actually have the Calera with me because I was wearing it with my cardi on the way here, which I finished, I think during the Canada Cal. I love this.
Because it was all Canadian yarn.
No.
No, not that one?
It's got the Seattle Sky Dye Works in it.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking
as
of
well as some Queensboro. And the Seattle Sky Dye Works, honestly, her colors are really lovely, and I love the base. I would love to get more of it, but I really should stop buying yarn for now. But yeah, so that's what I was wearing today. And this is also long, not nearly as long as this one. This one will be either the kind of thing where you wrap it once and you just let it fall, or you really bundle yourself up. And I even thought, like, you gave me that gorgeous brown shawl pin. I thought, just stick it in there and walk down the street with my fortress on.
It's one of those things that was too beautiful to keep because I knew I wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
So
So,
But then
so
your
there we go.
exploration station is quite wide as well.
It is, but it's more like the Calera. It's not like this one. Like this
Yeah.
is 8 feet long. About it is crazy. And as I said earlier, I did the Pico edge by basically casting on 2 and then casting off 2 every 10 stitches, and it lined up with the points in the triangle.
Lunchtime, Lynn was like, but you're not matching the triangles.
Of course I am.
Yes, I am. Okay, keep at it.
Are you crazy? I would never not match the triangles.
The stress us knitters go through of other people's knitting.
Sorry. Fuck! I lost my name. So that's really it for FOs.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I have a mini FO, and I'm counting it because I finished
Sometimes you just need
I
that
just
little...
needed it. So I have, I finished a Barnraising Square, and I don't know what the yarn is, and I literally had 5 rows to finish. 5 rows. 5 rounds.
And?
It's been languishing forever because I thought I had more. So the Barnraising Square, Quilt Square is by Shelley Mackey and Larissa Brown, and it is on 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. And I'm showing something that I've shown before, but it's like
Completely finished.
it's Jen finished now, because Jen Finish is weaving in the ends and everything. And I added buttons to the baby sweater. So I went to our local, my Fabricville here, and I had a couple different options. I had monkey. She wanted brown, so I had monkeys. I had paws. I had cats, and so of course my daughter chose. And so I think they're bear paws, but they could be dog paws. And so I messaged Chelsea and said, it's done. It has buttons. Do you want to be surprised with the buttons? She's like, yes. So I wanted to keep it and show you guys because I'm going to be mailing it out, and I wanted you to see the buttons. It is on my project page. This is the Playdate by Tin Can Knits. It's knit out of Knit Picks Comfy Fingering in the Peapod colorway, and it was on 3.5 and 3.75 millimeters, which is a US 4 and 5. So this is going in the mail. And she was like, oh my god, I'm so happy. It's the perfect time of the year. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm starting your next one. She was like, wait, what? I'm going to make him a flax. So I'm considering that finished.
It is, and it's such a cute FO.
And I've got a darker green. I've got pink. So, I can make other things with it. But yeah.
By the way, speaking of Jen, I'm actually drinking a tea that Jen
Storm
gave
Coast, who is Uncreative Crafter podcast.
Yeah, when she was at Rhinebeck with us, and she gave me a couple of bags of this strawberry vanilla fool tea, and that's what I'm drinking today, in a mug that Sue bought at Rhinebeck last year by the Great Bay Pottery people, handmade in the USA. Yeah, so I've been bringing my tea over in the travel mug and then going, I'd rather drinking out of a cup. It just is more pleasant, isn't it? So,
and I've got many knitting related mugs, 2 or 3 at least.
Oh, and also, speaking of shawls, I just wanted to thank the people who posted pictures, because 2 episodes ago when I was on, I had asked how people store their shawls, because I have accumulated. My aunt posted on Instagram, oh, another shawl? I was like, yeah, I think I'm going through a shawl craze.
Sorry, do you know, Selma? There's always a shawl on the needles. Lately there haven't been sweaters, which is very surprising.
No, it's been a shawl and sock year. So I had asked you guys how you store your shawls, because I was kind of a little wondering, where am I
overwhelmed?
Yeah, I got a lot of shawls, and I've got a cubby, but it's not going to fit my mitts and my hats and my shawls.
First world problems.
Seriously. First world knitter problems, too, because we tend to make a lot of things, don't we? And so right now I'm actually just storing my shawls in a basket in the entrance on a bench that we have there, and I just took out a basket and I folded up all my shawls in there. But there are some really interesting ideas. Lynn had posted one actually where there was that IKEA thing for scarves and you would hang them, and somebody else had also a shoe, those things you hang in the closet where you would put the shoes
I
in.
like that because you can roll it and then stick it in, and all you see is the top one, like jelly rolls.
And somebody else also had the idea where you would put like a curtain rod on the wall and hang them that way, which I thought was a beautiful idea too. So we'll see. We have a small house and there are 4 of us in it, and I feel like it's quite crowded. So whatever I do,
shoe thing on the back of a door would work, or in the closet. I think that would really work.
Well, honestly, in the winter they need to get put away. They get put away. I mean, not in the winter. In the summer, they get put away in a bin, away from any potential, you-know-whos.
But right now you have them out in the open in a basket.
That's right, because I'm using them in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything I have is in bags.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't, as you know, or if you don't know, I had a moth problem about 8 months ago, almost a year.
Yeah.
And it was quite rampant, and now we're seeing the odd moth. But the thing is, we can't get in the nooks and crannies in the basement because we have an unfinished laundry room. But we haven't seen a lot, but yeah, that scared me, and everything I have is in plastic bags, except for the few things at the front door that I use every day. So, yeah, friends, we love them. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to go with whips or me?
Oh, whips. Last time I was on, I showed you guys the swatch for the sweater that I'm going to make for my husband. I was doing it out of the Harrisville Tweed Watershed that I got at Rhinebeck. But I haven't done anything else, so I didn't bother. I didn't bother.
I didn't bother to bring it.
Because I haven't cast it on yet. I just finished. When did I finish that? Thursday, I think. The Void Sha, and blocked it, and right away. And then I wanted to work on these socks a little bit, and so I really haven't had a chance to start my husband's sweater. But I do hope next time that I'm on to have good progress on that. So instead, and then a couple of times ago I was swatching for a sweater for myself out of some Malabrigo sock in the eggplant, and I was going to make Hochi Locatelli's Window to My Soul.
What happened with that?
Yeah. The lace is not as intuitive as I would like it to be, so I was struggling with the swatch. And it was funny because my friend Dana in Germany said she found the lace a little funny on that too, so I thought I lost my appetite for now.
Well, and if it's a swatch, you're going to need a whole sweater.
Yeah, and I think it's just a question of doing a little bit of practice. But there was some unusual techniques there, and I'll get it, but I got distracted by other things. I don't know about...
You don't get stumped very easily either.
No, but I seem to be in a situation right now where if there's the least bit of, like, complication, I'm not interested.
I got better things to do.
And my mind, like... I just want to knit all the things, and so one day I want to knit that, and the next day I want to knit something else, and so I
falls asleep thinking about knitting.
I'm just like, I'm all over the place.
And I get these random texts going, ooh! It's like, okay, she wrote it down just in a text.
So anyway, so that hasn't really moved forward for now either, but it will. And I do want to make it, and I'll get past the lace for sure. But I just needed to put it aside for a while.
No negative knitting. That's my motto.
My only whip that I have here today is the Arnie and Carlos socks that I'm making for my friend, and I'm just on the gusset. I decided to not do a contrast.
I always put down what you call your socks in your project pages, so you have to
call it Into the Twilight. Because this is the Twilight colorway, so I called them Into the Twilight.
Gorgeous.
I decided not to do any contrasting stuff or an afterthought heel. I really like the basic gusset heel by Wendy D. Johnson. I feel like the repeats are long enough that it's not going to look, sometimes, you know, when you're making self-striping socks, you got to be careful because it can kind of look a little, the stripes get really thin.
I don't care. I just do my heel because, you know what? Nobody's going to see my heel.
But you don't do a gusset.
No, sometimes I did a gusset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I do a short roll heel and it does the same thing.
Can I do this?
Yes, you can.
I got another FO on. I'm wearing my Juliana socks out of my Rewind colorway.
Nice.
I finished those on my trip to PEI. Anyway.
Squirrel.
Back to our sheep, as they would say in French. So, this is it. I'm on the gusset. So from Thursday when I finished the Void shawl, I think I had just gotten a little goatee of a toe, and I've done that since then. I'm just about to start the heel.
Sorry, I have to write that down.
Oh, is that going to be the title of the show?
It might be.
Knitting goatees. Yeah, and I'm just really enjoying it. And people who see me knitting this, they're like, "Ooh, those are really nice." It's a very catchy kind of colorway.
Mm-hmm.
And what I actually really like, let's see if I can show this to you, is the blue in there. It's not just a straight blue. There's a little bit of a tonal thing happening with it. It goes from like a kind of more of a
I can see
turquoisey
it now.
blue to more of a purpley blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really quite...
So you mean this one?
Yeah, there's a little bit more subtlety in there than you... Whoops.
Sorry, hit the mic.
Expect there to be. And so yeah, knitting these.
Those
Since
are
they're
for...
orange, they've got a pumpkin marker there, and that was just showing me that it's the front of the sock.
And who are they for?
These are for my friend Judy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought a Hungarian's going to like orange.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. 2.25s on these. These are the Chow Goos, right?
Yeah.
Which I really like. The other socks that I just made, what were they? What was that? What did I just make? Oh yeah, the Gumi Gumi socks.
Yeah.
By the way, there are a couple of people who've mentioned that they can't get the song out of their head now. So you might...
Because you sang it.
Because I sang part of it. Anyway. Start singing if you want.
2.25 millimeters is a US one.
Yeah, and so these are on my Chow Goos, but the Gumi socks I made on my Addies. I prefer the Chow Goos. The join is
another
a
thing
lot
that you
smoother.
and Lynn agree on, and I don't.
Yeah.
They're questioning.
Like when I pull this, no, it's not going to do it right now. It just goes right onto the stitches. But with the Addie, I had to maneuver it a little bit.
What's an Addie?
Yeah. So I just find the join a little bit smoother. And that's that. And it's being housed in the same bag as it was last week, which is one of my bags that I had to make for myself. The birds. And, oops, not going to put those away because I'm going to continue. That's it as far as a work in progress goes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
What did I write down?
What are you working on?
I only wrote the and the Marco Polo, but I've done more than that. Where's my
Really?
shawl? I think so. I just need to look at my progress. And I don't have my progress keeper on here, so...
Are you sure you worked on your shawl this week?
I thought I did, but maybe not.
Whatever. Wow. That's a big bag.
Mm-hmm. It's housing a big project.
Yeah.
So, my Marco Polo, no, the sleeve's not finished. But I have a reason for that.
Okay.
I got to about here, and I'm noticing it's like way too wide. So I want to do some decreases, and I started doing some and they didn't look right, so I wanted to get Selma's advice when she was here.
Oh, right. So we'll talk about that after the show.
You know, do you see this shiny progress keeper right here? I did all this.
Sleeves are fast. They're irritating, but they're fast.
Yeah, so I don't have much left, but I want to, see here. I started doing decreases like Enid told me, and it's not looking right.
Okay, well, we'll talk about
anyways, we'll talk about that later. It's the Marco Polo by Ella Torrente, and it is being knit out of Cascade Yarn 220 Superwash Sport in cream brown and burnt orange. And I've shown this pattern is getting so raggedy. That's what it looks like. And of course, I've used 3 colors. And it is being knit on a, where is it? 4 millimeter and a 4.5, which is a US 6 and 7. So yeah, I can't take this thing anywhere. Literally. I probably need an even bigger bag because it's just squished. And this is a bag I made for myself with fabric that Mandy Pinecone from the Mandy Pinecone Crafts sent me. But this is the side I like the most because it's got my little black kitty. So that was that. And the shawl by Drea Knits out of Patton's Classic Wool in black, dark gray, Erin, and Mercury. Got some love. I messed up on the last color work block, but you know what? It's gray and black and you're not going to see it. So, if you can see the stitch marker, oh, maybe they can't see that. At the top of this white, I'm okay. At the top of this white section is where I was. So I've gotten all this done.
I love the colors.
And now I'm in the black part and I can't find the rest of the yarn. It's somewhere in the house.
Oh boy.
Because, you know, I have that problem. So, see how and I showed, it's for Ashley, my daughter, and I showed her and she was like, Mom, you're not going to see that. I'm like, okay. And so the stockinette stitch part has these garter ridges. So now that I'm on that part, it's going to fly. And this is being housed in a bag that I made for myself with fabric from Selma.
It's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I loves it. Ashley was saying the other day, Mom, why do you have a bag with bugs on it? I was like, those are bees. My sock bag. And I'm like, I love my bees. And this is just so me. And the other thing I started last night, after casting on I don't know how many times, because I want to do it in the round, another Barnraising Square, but I want to do it on a circular, so I had to cast on DPNs and then transfer it. But this is in a beautiful pink, which is Mad Tosh Merino Light in the Posy colorway. And I got it in a bag of minis, and for the life of me, I can't remember who gave me these, but these colors are gorgeous. And then she has these tags on all of them. So it tells you what everything is, and I can't remember. I'm not sure if it was a swab. Basically, I dug into my mini bag and found anything that was balled up. So I have a few bags of stuff that's balled up because it's easy. And like I said, this is by Shelley Mackey and Larissa Brown on 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. And it's being housed in my little eyeball bag.
I love that bag.
Yep. I'm probably going to be able to make one or two, even though it's not Halloween. I think people will like them. So, in we go. And it's just so cute. I think that's it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't put it away. I need to knit on it. So, next, Brown Bag Sock Club 2016.
Woohoo! So we are in November, which means that it's going to be ending at the end of December. And so we just wanted to show the prize for the third quarter.
I'm just trying to get the stitch marker so you can show it. There we go.
So we have got this beautiful Tweedy Toes sock yarn by Fiber Stash in the Lady Mary colorway, and it's this lovely kind of maroon tweedy yarn. It's an 85 superwash merino and 15% nylon neps, and it's just lovely, just lovely. It's a little bit richer in real life, I would say, but it's quite close. But there's a little bit more of a burgundy to it in real life. So that's going to be the prize for the third quarter. Yes.
Yes. For fourth quarter.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
The last quarter. Let's just say it that way.
I'm mixing up quarters and trimesters, I think, is what I'm doing. And then there are some lovely stitch markers that we got from Seattle Sky Dye Works, whose yarn I also used in my Calera shawl, so we mentioned her earlier. And they're just lovely. So there's some very simple sort of little green snagless ones, and then one longer one. So those are going to be the prize for that we'll be giving out at the end of December, beginning of January.
And I will put a picture in the thread.
And then we decided to do a grand prize. So basically, we will be putting together all the posts from the entire year and choosing a grand prize from that.
Yep.
And the grand prize will contain
one of our sock handmade hardware, the knitting tubes. It's I'll post a picture in the thread because
You've
I don't
seen
want to
it
open
before
it.
if you watch the show because
it's black and you screw it off. It's for DPN. So.
And then, in addition to that, you are going to get this project bag,
which is by someone called Jen Study, and I'm not even sure if she opened a shop or not, but I've had it for a long time, and so we kind of put a theme together.
And then some stitch markers by Seattle Sky Dye Works as well. And again, these ones have like a dark green,
bluish green, and a dolphin.
And a dolphin to go with kind of this
beachy.
It's going to be summer and winter. And then a set of penny point solid copper therapeutic needles, which are really heavy and beautiful, I have to say.
They're kind of interesting to knit with because she sent us each some, and I think Lynn liked those. Yes. But yeah, and they have it's a needle keeper. It's got an elastic and you just stick it on either end, which is
beautiful.
Cool.
And then a skein of yarn by Pirates Yarn. She's the one who dyed the Pirates Love Rainbow skeins that I got for Lynn and Sue and myself. Yeah. And this is her standard sock in superwash and 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, 462 yards. And this is called Lilac OOAK, so it's a one of a kind. And there's sort of a light limey green and a lilac. Again, it's a little bit washed out. There, you can see it a little bit better. It's lovely. And that is going to be a grand prize. Is there anything else in there? No, I think that's it. That's enough. That's going to be a grand prize along with the DPN holder.
If you've posted every quarter, that's 3 per quarter. If you've posted all year, you're going to have 12 entries.
That's right.
Because we're combining them all. So people have a good chance.
Yeah. So that is going to be drawn also at the beginning of January once December 31st has rolled around and we've closed the thread. Yeehaw!
It's going to be awesome. All right. What is next? The Flash the Stash acquisitions. I'm going to go first.
Okay. I'll continue.
I saw a pattern, a couple hat patterns posted in our Ravelry group by someone that I've become friends with, who is Jillian Harkness, and she is known as Mina Loves Designs on Ravelry, and she has put out volume 1 of a hat patterns, which is called Rios Rocks. And so this is the pattern that got to me. It's gorgeous, and that's her in the picture. And so she sent me a copy and also offered to send a copy to one of you. And so there are 6 hats in here, and there is an Azul, Amarillo, Verde, Vermelho, Preto, and Rio, and it's all made with Rios.
With the Malabrigo Rios.
Yeah, so
I really like that yellow hat. It's got a very simple, interesting stitch pattern on it. I think I'm going to be making that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I can actually show bigger pictures if you guys want to actually see them, because those small ones weren't that great. So, that's Azul. And it's all like picture on the front, pattern on the back. Done.
Yeah, multiple. Very, very simple.
So this one is called the Amarillo.
That's the one I want to make.
This one is called Verde.
That would be Verde.
Verde. Sorry. I kind of like that one.
It's a beautiful color. For the green girl in the room.
This one is Vermelho, which actually I like this one even more.
Which I think is, yeah, that's lovely. They're great colors.
Yeah. Rios is a worsted?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is called Preto. It's really, really hard. You're not going to be able to see it. It's black.
It's got kind of ridges on it.
And then this one is called Rio. And this is one of the ones I like too. And I just love her simple photos.
Yeah. And nice layout too.
Yes, very nice layout. You know, one page, two-sided per pattern, and it's kind of awesome.
And they look like basically they're all sort of knit pearl combinations. So there's
nothing
complex
fancy
stuff. Yeah.
Like maybe some yarn overs with the red hat.
Yeah, there's a tiny little bit of lace there.
Yeah. And so this is volume 1, and she has agreed to give a copy away.
Ooh.
So we will start a thread in the Ravelry group, and we have to think of a prompt, and we always do this.
We're not very good with the prompts.
On the spot, so we'll figure something out, and then we'll post it. Yeah. And the other stash I got this week.
I got a question.
Oh.
If you were to knit a hat from that, where would be your favorite place to wear that hat?
I like that.
Yep. So that's the prompt. Where would be your favorite place to wear the hat that you make?
Yeah. Earlier this week, I was on the Interweave Knits or interweave.com, and I was looking at some stuff, and I saw some books. And so I contacted the person that we deal with there, and her name is Bethany. And I asked if she could possibly send us 2 of the books in hard copy. And she said yes, and they arrived yesterday.
Woo!
I talked to her on Monday. So
Bethany was right on it.
Kind of amazing. So the first one is Weekend Wraps, 18 Quick Knit Cowls, Scarves, and Shawls by Cicely Glowacke McDonald and Melissa Labar. That's what that looks like. And you know what? That picture made me feel like home. I grew up on a farm. And it was just like, oh, that's like home. And here are a few of the patterns on the back.
Yeah, so we'll be reviewing these books, the next one too.
Yep.
In the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, beautiful pictures. Very well. That reminds me of what your shawl looks like. Yeah, so just beautiful pictures. So go check that out. It's called Weekend Wraps.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail.
And I also asked for Knitting Short Rows, Techniques for Great Shapes and Angles by Jennifer Dessau. And this is the cover. Dessau. That's the cover. And I think Selma fell in love with the book. Isn't this the one you want to borrow?
They're both great, actually.
We'll take them both home. And on the back, these are a few of the patterns on the back. So basically, it's shape your knitwear seamlessly using short rows. And there's just beautiful pictures in here. Like, look at this.
Lovely.
And I actually like the one on the front.
Yeah, no.
I really like the sweater on the front. Let me see if I can find it in here. Oh, there's an interesting sweater there. I think the one we like is next. Yeah, so here I'm going to show you the side picture, which is what I really, really like. Yep. So, like Selma said, these will be reviewed shortly, and I will give them to you because you want to bring them home.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, you have stash, lady?
I do. So.
It's a very short list, though.
It should be short, shouldn't it? Post Rhinebeck, you're not supposed to be doing anything like that.
Oh, but she confessed. She came to work twice. You came to work and said, what were your words?
I've been bad.
I've been bad. And I'm like, what did you buy?
So, I don't know. Whoops.
Sorry.
Last week, I made the Wisp. I showed you one of the versions that I made on an episode a long time ago. I made it in a lilac mohair. But my original one was actually in a gray mohair silk with stellina. And the first time I made it, we just went off.
Oh, sorry.
It's just visuals?
Yep.
Okay. The first time I made it, I just did like kind of more of a scarf. And I was thinking, it would be really nice to make sort of more of a wrap, because the lilac one is more of a wrap. And I thought even wider, just a big gray mohair wrap with a little bit of stellina going through it, right? And the next day, I was thinking about this at night. I thought, well, if I ever see yarn like that, I'll buy it.
Okay, so there they are. Which one do you want to show?
Okay, so this was the original one that I made. It's a very simple scarf which just has garter ridges and then sort of like a simple lace sections, and it's just very repetitive.
Wasn't that my first lace project ever?
I think so.
Was it a wisp?
So the next day I was driving down the street and I went by Wabi Sabi, which is a local yarn shop, and I thought, oh, let me just see what Wabi Sabi happens to have.
Good, nice stuff.
So I walked into the store and it turns out that they were having a mega sale because it's their 8th anniversary. And I just looked over into the basket and there was the exact stuff that I needed. It's getting washed out by, but it's a beautiful kind of silvery gray. Mm-hmm. It's a mohair silk blend, just like the stuff that I made my original wisp in, with a lovely little strands of stellina going through, which I don't know that you're going to be able to see. It's Lang Mohair Luxe Lamy, which is a mohair super kid. There's the
what does
label.
Super kid mean?
It's the super kid mohair.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's silk. And so I bought 6 balls, which is essentially enough for a sweater, because I thought if for whatever reason, and this was on sale at 50% off, so it was very cheap compared to what it would have been, because I think it was originally $18 a ball and I got it for $9 a ball.
So it's worth buying.
So I thought, I can't walk out of the store. I was just like not even 24 hours before having this thought in my head. It was meant to be, right?
Power of suggestion.
And so it's 175 meters, so let's say close to 200 yards, and I bought 6, so it's 1,200 yards. And I thought, if I decide somehow that, you know what, maybe I'm not going to make the wisp one more time or whatever, I thought I could always double strand it with another gray yarn or a cream colored yarn or something and make a garment. So, but I would love to turn this into just a gigantic wisp. The one that I made, it's more like a scarf, but I wear it. It's just a little scarf that
you
sits
just want
inside.
Something a little more enveloping.
Yeah,
right?
The lilac one that I made more as a wrap, I really like it, and actually I wore that at Rhinebeck last year too. And then I thought I just want a big gray one because it's really beautiful. So that was what I bought. And the other thing that I bought this week, I happened to see on Instagram that Stephen West was having a pattern sale. So off I went to the Stephen West Ravelry shop. And I ended up buying 2 shawls. And I thought, you know what? Instead of making the exploration station again, why not, once I've, in the same palette that I've been thinking about, make another shawl? And the shawl that came to mind was his Lumpy Space shawl, which Stephanie of Milkshed had made, and I really liked her colors. And I had gone after seeing hers onto the Stephen West and was looking at it, and I think it's a very cool shawl. It's got, there's the original, which he has in very subtle colors. It's a very unusual construction. It's got this diamond in the middle, and then you build out from there.
Oh, you build off the diamond.
I think so. I think that's how it works. And when I was looking at people's projects, originally when I went in there, I thought it's got a cool kind of Southwest feel, sort of like a New Mexico kind of feel to it. So I think with the sand and brown and salmon colors, it'll kind of great. And then the other one that I bought, I don't like, his picture's a little difficult to see here, but it's called the Knit and Slide. And when it came out, I think it came out like last winter or something like that. Right away I was just like, I love this.
2014.
No, sorry, that's the wrong one.
2014.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry.
No, 2016.
Sorry.
Yeah, it came out sometime this year. So this is his Knit and Slide, and it's got this crazy border on it. And his other versions that he has on Ravelry, they're just beautiful colors. I like them more than the one he has on the actual pattern. And I thought, yeah, I can actually see it in lilac, white, and navy blue somehow. So those are two things that I bought and I'm very excited about. So maybe I won't make an exploration station again. Maybe I'll make those instead. One of those or two of those.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I brought was the gifts that Sue had brought for me from Texas, but I forgot them last time. So she had got coaster for herself with cats and flowers for Lynn, right? And for me it was this lovely bird. I didn't know I had a thing for birds, but it's become apparent that I do. She does. Yeah. I do love them. And then the other thing that she got me, which I actually put on my hands before I came here, was this Lava Shea butter cream in the pumpkin spice. Sweet cinnamon pumpkin scent. And it's a shea butter coconut oil based cream. And it's awesome, I have to say. You can still smell the pumpkin cinnamony smell. And then last night, my friend Dana was visiting from Toronto. She was in Ottawa. She used to live in Ottawa, moved to Toronto, and so we haven't seen each other in quite a while because I haven't been to Toronto in a year and a half, and she hadn't come to Ottawa. So she was here this week and decided to stay the weekend and catch up with people. And on one of her, she goes to New York every year. She had brought me back a trip and then never a gift and then never sent it to me. So she gave it to me last night. And I'm really thrilled and totally intimidated by this gift. It is essentially an embroidery kit from Pearl Soho, which is a lovely shop in Manhattan, New York. And I went there when we went to New York
3 years ago?
5 years ago.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah, I think it was 5 years ago.
Wow.
4 or 5 years ago. We went there. And whenever I go on the Pearl Soho site, I always look at their stitching kits because they have beautiful cross stitch and crewel work and embroidery kits. And so she got this one called Seasons of Embroidery. Now, I've never done embroidery. I just started cross stitch, but I've been wanting to learn embroidery. I'm not sure I'm going to start with this one, but I remember seeing this one on their website and thinking, oh, how beautiful. And
it's like she knows you.
Yeah, she might just a little bit. Yeah. So, thank you, Dana. Really lovely. It's really
and
beautiful.
I love the
packaging. Yeah, and everything just came in there nice and neatly, and it's a beautiful,
and the top
super fine linen.
The top is like gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to investigate that a little further.
Nice.
And so that's it. That's enough acquisitions. I was not going to buy any yarn.
Oh, but there is yarn coming. And what would that be?
That would be wool barn. That would be wool barn. In, what was the name of it? Cove? Anyway, it's kind of a sandy taupey color because I seem to be on the hunt. And the one that I brought back from Rhinebeck, I was like, I'm not sure
if that's going to be.
That's the one. And hers just looked like it had a little bit more depth to it. So I bought it. But it's not here yet. I'll show it to you guys next time.
That's from Europe?
Yeah, she's in England.
Okay.
Maya of the Wool Barn.
So will she be at the place you're going in March or whatever?
Sorry. In Scotland? In Edinburgh? I don't think so.
Okay.
But there will be so
many
many
if the Bakery
wonderful...
Bears will be there.
I don't know if they'll be there.
The people she's gonna see.
I'm gonna see so many
Helen
people.
Stewart.
I'm all excited. I contacted Hedgerow, the woman of Hedgerow Yarns. I don't actually remember her name. And I just said, are you going to be in Edinburgh? And she said, oh yes, look a couple of posts back in her Instagram feed. And somehow I had missed that post where she said that she was going to be a vendor at EYF. And I'm like, all right, because I go onto her Etsy shop all the time and keep humming and hawing about buying stuff. So I think that I will definitely be picking some of her stuff up.
I almost fell down on Jeanette's site and I went, you know what? No. There is one yarn that I want this fall. that she wants this fall, and I'm pretty sure Lynn wants, and it's the Gingerbread House by Jinx Yarns.
Yeah.
And so she said, stock the Instagram feed. She's already put some out, but there's going to be a lot more. So I will be stocking the Instagram feed and probably ordering 3. Because, you know, friends do that, but I won't keep it a secret.
You're not going to be in cahoots with the seller.
Well, I could. I know her, sort of, but no.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
We have our usual coupon code. So it's I'm broke, save me money. So Bags by Awesome Granny has an ongoing coupon code for 10% off, and the code is 2TS10. And if you look at her Instagram feed, she has some really nice bags. Really nice bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Or do it. Do it. That's what the code's there for.
Well, you guys can do it. Go for it.
Oh, you're talking to yourself.
Myself, don't do it. Yes.
I don't have an Awesome Granny's bag, so I should consider it.
I may or may have 3.
You may or may not have 3?
Yeah.
The other coupon code we have is the same as usual because it's an ongoing coupon for 10% off with 6 Munchkin stitching. And it is 2 Tangled 10.
Yeah.
Just 10.
Yeah, she has some nice stuff in her shop as well. So, you know, it's really nice of them to keep ongoing coupon codes. And if you're an Etsy seller and you want to give a coupon code, just contact one of us 3 and we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
So shop news for me. I'm working on the bags. Like I said, I got all the interfacing done. Now I need to sew, and I have a few other things I want to add to the shop that I'm not going to tell anybody about. So my shop is going to have new styles of bags, of which this is one of them. I'm kind of going to not have as many knot bags in there, but you can request a custom order, and I can work with you to make a knot bag. So, and I'm going to be dyeing yarn this weekend. Dyeing yarn. I got all my colorways chosen. And so I'm going to get all that dyed. That's going to go in the shop. What I make from the yarn is going to buy me more yarn. Well, I was talking to Sean about something, and I'm like, I want to buy this because I want to have a little extra in my packages that I send yarn out. Most people have little extras. And so he's like, no, do the extra and then buy yarn with your profits. It's like, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. And
he's a good enabling husband.
And Amtex outside of Toronto, you don't have to be a registered business owner, but if you have an Etsy shop, you can buy from them. Because my friend Lori, who put me in touch with Amtex, asked them the question.
Right.
So I'm going to be ordering some yarn.
Great. So we know what you're doing this weekend.
Yeah, it's the same cones that I got before, and what I have left, I think I have enough to dye 9 skeins of yarn.
Is that what you're doing tonight?
Either tonight or tomorrow.
I'll be playing Scrabble tonight, I think. I love Scrabble. I'm a huge Scrabble player. And I also love Scrabble because I can knit at the same time, depending on who I play with.
I can knit anytime. Sorry, 2 stitches. Okay, back to the game.
Yeah. And I love playing Scrabble. I often play with my mom, who can take quite a while. So I'll just sit there knitting and let her do her thing.
And it's nice quality time for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She likes games, doesn't she?
She does. And she loves Scrabble and always has.
See, I'm not a board game person, but I like stuff like Scrabble But
I love
don't
Scrabble.
ask me to play Monopoly or stuff like that. I'm just like, oh.
I'm okay. And we often play Settlers of Catan at our house, which is an awesome
What is that?
game, a strategy game.
Oh.
I think it's originally a German game, I feel. And it's essentially you are
Settlers.
Yeah, Settlers of Catan. You're getting raw materials, which you then use, which are cards, essentially, like wood and wool. There's actually a sheep card and stuff. And then with that, you can buy roads and houses and and cities. And then once you gather so many, whoever gets to a certain number wins. And it's fun because you can trade You can trade goods and stuff like that and go, I really need a brick. Anybody got any bricks? So we often play that. And there's another game that we got last Christmas. I try to get a game for the kids. This is a great question, actually, because I'm looking for a game for this year, because I usually get my kids a game at Christmas. And I don't know, I feel like, are there any good, interesting new games, or maybe not so new,
for their age?
Yeah, or you know, kind of like now they're into the adulty kind of stuff. So Settlers Catan is definitely above 8. We also have Tickets to Ride, which is an awesome game as well, and it's about creating train rides train tracks.
Check Ravelry. I think there's actually a group devoted to board games.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check. Somebody was telling me about one called Pandemic or something like that. So I might look at that. But if you have any interesting games, we definitely play board games. Like we played Uno. I don't know. Uno is one of those games that it's like it goes with us wherever, because it's such an easy thing to play in airports or in
we played Uno wherever. Here. We play Mankala. That's one of the kids' favorite games. It's the board with the beads.
Oh, the African game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they got introduced to that in primary school, and that's one of the games we take camping.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
We have backgammon, actually. My father gave me his backgammon game, but I haven't played backgammon in such a long time that I don't remember how. Do you know how to play backgammon?
I'd probably have to kind of
I need somebody to
acquaint myself
me.
again.
Yeah. And then I thought that'd be a great game to teach the kids.
Yeah.
Because they like to play chess. My daughter has, you know, she's 10, or not even 10. She's turning 10 this month. So her strategy is not always fantastic, but it's still fun.
10?
Yeah, she's turning 10. Yeah, the 28th of November.
Because she was like 2 when we started hanging out.
Really?
We started hanging around 2007 or 8.
That's true. Yeah, she was born in 2006. So she was a year or so.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
And your son is 12?
No, 13. Very much an adolescent. Very much. So, but there's a lot of fun stuff that comes with adolescence too. But
yeah, fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's an interesting time to have really interesting conversations.
Mm-hmm. And they get even better as
although sometimes they're like, I don't want to talk with you about that. But it's still, you know, it's still interesting.
Whereas my kids are 18 and 21 and want to talk about everything.
Yeah. I look forward to that. Yeah. I hope that happens.
Sometimes I send them off together to discuss among themselves. Because it's like,
TMI, man. TMI.
You guys want to share that information?
You go ahead. Yeah, my son's very guarded. So getting any of that kind of stuff out of him.
And they're literally 3 years apart, like my kids.
Yeah, mine are 3.5
Except
years
your
apart.
son's older.
My son's older, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we're going to be playing Scrabble tonight. Not with my kids. My son plays Scrabble. My daughter doesn't like it. I think maybe in a couple of years she'll like it more. But yeah, my friend's coming over and we're playing Scrabble.
Nice.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
So we've babbled.
Yeah.
For a few minutes.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Lynn, we hope you're having fun in Vermont. I just saw a picture she posted on Instagram of Rob, and he's standing on a road, but I didn't read the caption.
Oh.
And I know one of the main things they wanted to do there was a hike. And they're going to a steak place that they found the last time they were in Vermont that said it was amazing and not expensive. And they're meeting up with Mandy and her husband Scott and possibly Michael.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, hope you're having fun.
And hope you guys are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us again.
Yes.
One more time.
Yes.
Or thanks for joining us today, if it was your first.
If it was your first time, it was this was a subdued episode. It wasn't one of our crazy ones. Except we can't talk.
At the beginning, I think we got warmed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay.
It's almost like we press record and we're like caught off guard.
Blah, 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 blah. I went out for dinner with a friend of mine last night, my friend who was visiting, and I had a big drink.
Because, yeah, she can have one.
Yeah.
So what was the big drink?
Let's
just keep babbling.
Negroni. It was called a Negroni, and it was a combination of Campari, gin, and vermouth.
Oh, you're a gin person. Do you like gin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I like Campari that much. Campari's a bit bitter for my taste. But I didn't want a drink that I was going to like go, that was so good, could I have another? I wanted one that I would just sip on and slowly, because that was the drink that I was having. And it was really good, and I put a squeeze of orange in there. It was nice. Mm-hmm. But I think that might have made me a bit
loopy,
funny today, because I was like, I'm having a hard time talking. But I seem to be okay now.
Because you're all warmed up, and now it's time to go.
It's time to go.
So happy crafting, everybody, and we will see you all next week. Well, she might not, but I will.
Yeah, I'll see you sometime soon.
I'm like, where's the mouse? It's the laptop.
There it is.
Sorry for leaning in, but hey,
armpit.